Welcome guys to Buddyfight. Today we're gonna have my friend Isaac who's gonna make a deck profile about his Link Dragon holder.
Yes,
So,
let's go.
let's begin.
So, my body and my flag. Let's go. So, we're gonna main Emperor Agito because unlike other decks, I actually like more the size 3. Mainly because his Spiral D-shirt is that every beginning of the battle phase, you're gonna send the top 3 cards of your deck to the drop zone. And any card that has D-shirt, that includes the monsters and the items, will be put under him to his soul. And since he has Spiral D-shirt, he's gonna gain all the D effects that he's gonna get under the soul. Apart from that, he also has double attack, penetrate, and soul guard. You just gotta pay 3 gauges and up to 4 Link Dragons from the field that are monsters or from the drop zone. Also, note you can also take spell cards that have Link Dragon Order in their attribute. So if you don't have that many monsters in the drop zone or on the field, you can still pick up a couple of spells so you can start off with him. It's a little costly with 3 gauge, but the deck will play it out. Like, you'll be fine. Now, he's our main. But our secondary main is my buddy, Rumbling Thunder Axe Agito. Now, his D-shirt is a bit different from all the others, that instead of getting a stat boost or a double attack, this guy will actually, at the start of your battle phase, is gonna get a card from the drop zone into the soul. So it's gonna continue stacking up. And other than that, if he's on the field, he's gonna give soul guard to all the others. So imagine having this on the field. You have one monster which essentially will drop the 3 cards of the top deck. You're gonna put them into the soul if they have D-shirt, and then you're gonna pick up 4 more cards from the drop zone and put it into his soul. So you can see why I'm liking this. It's a pretty tanky deck. But of course, that doesn't always happen all the time. Sometimes you only got these guys, sometimes you only got that guy. Most of the time you're gonna have it like this. But this is a deck that keeps building up slowly. This is a great wall that doesn't build out of nowhere. So, let us continue. Other cards that you're gonna need in the deck is these puppies. And I literally mean puppies. Now, what happens with this beauty is that when you call her, she can look for an item from your deck. And if you don't have any equipped, you can actually equip it immediately. And that's pretty good because most of the items that you're gonna have is to increase power or to protect or to give some form of enhancements. All the items here are to give even more further effects. So you're gonna want an item on your field. And this puppy will be that pup to get you that item. Now also, we're gonna have we can also play defensively. We also gotta be offensive. So what are we gonna do about that? More critical. So we're just gonna add this guy to add 1 more critical to the equation. Again, if we look at the big guy, he has 3 criticals. So with each one of him is a plus critical. So essentially he can get up to 5 criticals with double attack and penetrate. That is pretty beastly. But enough about him. We also gotta play defensively. We can't just go all out. We're not Dragon Wolf, we're Ancient Wolf. We are smarter than that. So, what do we play? This guy actually is pretty helpful. His name is Hirate. So when he attacks, he gives another Link Dragon Order on your field, a critical, but his D-shirt is actually what we want. So his D effect is that all cards on your field cannot be returned to the hand or can't be rested by your opponent's card effect. That's gonna be good. Again, with the size 3, they won't be able to rest it, so that's still 2 attacks they're gonna give. Other than that, Jisen. He gives you a gauge when he's called on the field, but his D-shirt is that your opponent cannot destroy your cards. So if you put that into the soul of your Emperor Agito, he's not gonna be able to destroy it by card effects. He'll have to go battle head on. And this little guy His name is Ton, with 2 N's. His D-share is that your opponent cannot nullify your card effects. With all that, now your opponent definitely can't do anything against your Agito. But he can still drop your cards out here, yeah. So, that's why we play 1 King Agito. His D-share, you can't drop his cards from the soul by opponent's card effects. Still gonna get pretty wrecked if they do in Autora SD, but I'm sorry, that was a little negative, but it's true. Autora SD is just gonna bring them to the hand, but that's 1 card, and all the other cards say drop. Like Dragon Var, it says drop the soul. So with this guy, they're not gonna drop it, so you're still gonna have every single defense and offense still intact. Apart from that, we're playing 3 Hara Haras, because the deck might be pretty tanky, but if you're gonna get hit with Penetrate and you have nothing to regain life with, you're gonna die quickly. So with this guy, his D-share, you're gonna get 2 life every time you attack. Again, if you stack him to the other guy, that's 2 attacks, so you're gonna activate that effect twice. If you have more him, they stack up. So you're gonna get more life. Pretty freaking good. Other than that, we have our size zeros. Swift Claws Wings. We're gonna play her next to our Emperor Agito or in our soul, but she's also pretty good in the drop zone. Because one of her effects is that if she's in the drop zone, you have another Link Dragon order on the field, let it be a monster or an item, you can pay 1 gauge and return it from the drop zone to the bottom of your deck and gain 2 life. Pretty good, you keep getting life, but her D-share, in the other hand, is that every time you destroy a monster by an attack, you deal 1 damage. Remember, these shares are being basically shared throughout the whole field. So if you have her on the field next to Emperor Agito or in the soul of Emperor Agito, you're gonna do the effect. Now, if you have more of them, they keep stacking up. Again, that's the main theme of this deck, stacking up effects. And our last monster that we have to show is this beauty. I can't pronounce his name quite well right now, especially since I have the card upside down to me. But his effect is that when he's called and you have another D-share on the field, you can gain a gauge and a draw, and you draw a card. His D-share, you gain defense in your opponent's turn. 3,000. So that's pretty good. From 8 you go to 11. That is pretty good. Because again, a lot of people are gonna get there to 8 with link attacks. If you're playing heavy hitters like Max Dragons, they're gonna hit your defense pretty easily. So increasing your defense is pretty good.
So if you found more about him, you're gonna bump it up?
Yes, like, again, all the effects stack up.
No, I mean the card. You only have 1.
Yeah,
so
that's
if you find more, you're gonna bump it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a couple of more. Like,
how many more do you want to play?
Actually, I would like to play 3 in the main deck because 4 of them was good back in the old days because you didn't have all that many cards. Now you got a whole bunch of cards that you can play, so you don't need to play 4 of him. You got more draw spells, you got more gauge power, so now you can lower this guy to 1, 2, or 3. Usually 3 is a good number. 2 is also good. 1, not so good, but I digress. I gotta play with what I can get.
So if someone have more of him, he can comment in the link below.
That would be grateful. I would be very grateful. That would help me out a lot.
So let's continue.
Okay, so let's straight up jump to the items. Again, this pup can get you items. So what items are we gonna play? I mainly play these 2 items, Wild Axe and Bone Glove. Now, Bone Glove I only run 1 because the D-share is also pretty good. It doesn't allow your any card in your field be destroyed, and any damage that you would, the effect that's not the D-share is that every effect damage that you would get is reduced by 1. That includes penetrate damage. And it just costs 1 life. all items can attack with a monster in center that is a Link Dragon order. But the reason why I play 2 Wild Axe instead of 1 and 2 Bone Glove or any other item is that it gives more power if that's its D-share. But the more important effect is that your opponent can nullify your card effects. So if I don't have the size 0 but I have enough soul, the Emperor Agito will protect itself as Soul Guard. But if they would nullify the effect, it will all be pointless. So I main this item so they don't nullify my effect of Soul Guard. So my Emperor Agito can keep protecting me. And I can still attack over him. Because again, all the items of Link Dragon Order can attack if there's a Link Dragon Order in center. It's pretty good. Now we're gonna talk a bit about spells. First off, Link Dragon Order Gathering. This is one of the what I would consider a key card for the deck because it has 2 effects. By paying 1 gauge, you can activate one of either 2 once per turn. Like you can only cast this card once per turn, and you can only choose one of the 2 effects. The first effect is that you pick up 2 Link Dragon. Oh wait, that's the second one. You pick 2 D-share with different card names from the drop zone to the hand. That includes items or monsters. The other effect is that you can look for Link Dragon Order Agito from the deck to the hand. That includes the size 3s or the size 1s. Whichever Agito you want to look for, you can look for it, but just one. The other spell we're gonna play, Link Dragon Order's Hunt. Now this card is a bit tricky to play in this style of deck because it's size 3. Because the effect of this card is by paying 1 gauge, you gain 1 life and 1 draw for each D-share monster on your field. So if you only have 1 monster and you can't play all the other size 1s, it's pretty sad. That's why you gotta play more size 0s like Swift Queen, these guys. Every size 0 is actually pretty welcome, especially because they can actually come down with a size 3. And they all have D-share, so with Link Dragon Order's Hunt, you're gonna get more cards. Other than that, you gotta play all the size 1s first and then activate it. Other spell cards that you're gonna use is Link Dragon Order's Link. You send the top 2 cards of your deck to the drop zone and you do one of 2 effects. Either you destroy a monster in your opponent's field or you gain 3 gauge and a life. So therefore you can bring down King Agito or use a lot of the other spells. Or if your opponent has a monster that's gonna attack you and doesn't have Soul Guard, doesn't have anything, you can just destroy it in their opponent's turn because again, it's a counter. Another spell is Chain Select. Chain Select is a whole lot like Link Dragon Order's Link, only that it's flipped on its head. Again, you mill 2 cards, you send the top 2 cards of your deck to the drop zone, and I can either destroy a spell or an item on your opponent's field, or you gain 3 life and 1 gauge. See, that's why I say it's like the other card, but flipped on its head. Another card that you're gonna use in this style is Link Dragon Order's Renewal. This is used on all styles of Link Dragon Order because it's gonna allow you to stand a monster with D-share on the field, and not just that, it will allow you to call a monster from the drop zone by paying its call cost. But it's gonna get called rested. But again, you're standing another monster. So your Emperor Agito can attack a 3rd time. And if you call a size 0, it's gonna get the D-share of that monster. You can only cast it once per turn, but the extra attack is always worth it.
You can call the Agito who will give you 1 critical. Then you can call the other Agito who give you double attack. It's pretty good combo, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's for the size 1s.
Yeah, I know. Well,
This
if
deck
you
on
should,
size 3, well, you're not gonna call those guys because you're not gonna run
yeah,
them
but I
main.
talk about that combo. It's pretty good too. If you want to play it in grade 1 deck or Link Dragon.
Exactly, that's why this is a good card for all Agito decks. Like, it should be another key card for that deck. Now, I only run one class of shield. What I mean is, like, this is the only kind of shield I run.
Because it's the only one is good right now for them.
Well, there's another one that removes soul and doesn't let standing, which is good against other decks that, like, monsters that will attack 3-4 times. Against those decks, that shield is better. But this one, instead of not allowing your monster to attack, you will gain a life for each D-share on your field. So again, gaining life in this deck is pretty good because it means you'll have more staying power. Plus it nullifies an attack. So, all around good card. Now we got some classic cards of Ancient World here, like Divine Dragon Creation. You pay 2 life, you draw 2 cards. You can only cast it once, but those 2 cards are gonna be always worth it. Plus, you always gaining life. You got Hara Hara, you got the shield, you got Swift Claw. So you got 3 different cards that are gonna gain you life. So that's not gonna be too bad, paying 2 life. We also got Dragon Emperor League. It gives you a gauge, 1 life, and 1 draw. Pretty good. Only once per turn again. So again, we got another card that's gonna give you a life. All around good. The other card that we're gonna also play is Sturdy Dragon Strike. This is gonna allow you to send 2 monsters from Ancient World to the drop zone, and you gain a gauge for that. Why that is good in this deck? Again, we got Emperor Agito that picks up Link Dragon Order monsters from the field and Link Dragon Orders from the drop zone. So if you want something specifically to go to his soul, this is a good card to cast so you can make sure it goes to his soul. Plus it's an additional gauge. So it's really good. Now the impact, I only run 2. Only 2 impacts. Running 3 or 4, not really my style for this kind of deck. The monster is pretty intimidating alone, but if you want to be sure if to win, like to do your end game, it's good to run 2. Now you can only cast it if your opponent's at 4 or less and you have D-share on the field. But if you have Spiral D-share, like Emperor Agito, you actually can cast it without paying its call cost of 2 gauge. So if you waste all your gauge on doing all sorts of effects, you can still cast this impact having the big guy in center. Emperor Agito, King Agito, if he has Spiral D-share, you don't have to worry about gauge with that impact. Now, another issue that this deck has is that it sends a lot of cards from the top deck to the drop zone. So I implemented these 2 cards, Lost World, just for the fact that I can go deck out. I waste a lot of cards, I draw a lot, I put a lot into the gauge, I send to the drop zone a lot. And Emperor Agito, every battle phase, it's not an effect that you choose to activate, it just activates. So in the long run, if you play with someone that's gonna stall, you can go deck out. So as a suggestion, you can play Lost World. You don't have to have the most overpowered Lost World. It's just so you can have 30 more cards so you don't go deck out. But again, that is up to you. That's your choice. You don't have to play Lost World. You can still have fun without it. Like, why do we even have this? So we don't go deck out. That's all.
Yeah. Go deck out with super heroines.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
So all these.
Yeah, boy.
So this is the end of the video. So if you like his deck profile, you can give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe.
If you don't like it, you can just not give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, any suggestions, you can leave them in the comment. Like we are open for suggestions. We try out all sorts of things here.
Yeah, so leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.